You have a small window of time to really tap into them, actually get them help before they close back up again.
I know that I personally, lived that way for a good many years. Suck it up, box it up, move on. There was no problem I couldn't handle that a good strong drink couldn't fix. And it took a while for me to realize that, that's not the solution. That becomes the problem.
But I don't think you hear at all, and probably not much at all, about the 20 to 22 suicides a day that continue to happen from our veterans and active military.
When I first found out about 22 suicides a day, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. And I would say that that's a devalued or an underestimate, because a lot of the suicides are suicide by drug overdose, intentional drug overdose, and it would not be recorded as a suicide. Greatest rate of suicide among veterans is the older population. And that's really been highlighted by COVID. The older population, and men in particular, do not reach out for help. And so they kind of die a very quiet and unfortunate, painful death by suicide, and drink their way into oblivion as well. That's the challenge, because the people who are at greatest risk are the people who are least visible. So it's really search and recover. In military terms, you're trying to find out who's lost in action. Where are they behind enemy? Where are they? How do we get them? How do we reach them? These are the challenges. There are MIAs out there. You have to be intentional about going to find them, and especially with the older population, which represents the highest suicide cohort of the 22 a day. To use a term, it's deplorable. It's despicable and deplorable what's happened, what they are being exposed to, and in some measure in an unprotected manner, because a lot of professionals are concerned about their careers, so they don't want anybody to know anything, and even they don't want there to be a paper trail even with their insurance company. So the fact that they can speak candidly and in confidence, whether it's home life or things that are going on at work, is a tremendous advantage. Whether it's military, first responders, that is a very great obstacle to getting help. I don't want my career affected. One of the things that, our banner at Integrated Recovery is hope, connection, purpose. Just under those three words unfolds a broad, powerful dynamic. You have to repurpose yourself, and you don't get to repurpose yourself typically before you've connected. And typically you don't connect till you've reached out with some, what I call the reach of hope. Reached out to someone who can guide you, mentor you into connecting and repurposing yourself. There is a very small window where people are accessible, and you have to be prepared to respond to that small window. It's just like in any operation in the military. You have a small window. Well, it's the same thing in when people reach out. There is a small window, and that window can close very rapidly and not open for the rest of that individual's life. There are characteristic differences. For instance, if somebody's had a stable developmental upbringing, even if they have a faith-based background where hope is a part of their foundation, their core, those are things that help people overcome trauma. But the people who bring in, for instance, an unstable developmental history, have had no core of faith. Faith plays a huge role in recovery from anything. We don't have to have taken a class in psychopathology. We, as people in the community, we have an intuitive sense of, which is a bad day, and a bad day is a bad day, and the next day you may here their mood is remarkably improved. But once you hear a consistent low mood, a depressed mood, and thoughts of hopelessness, those are keys. Probably 80 to 90% of all mental health issues can be resolved in simply sharing with a good friend. Many people don't have that good friend that they can share what's on their heart and mind, where they feel safe, if you will. There is an enormous amount can be resolved just with the closeness of a good friend.